everyone! We all know the biggest stress on Thanksgiving isn't the turkey, it's the oven space. If you're tired of playing oven Tetris and shuffling pans around all morning, you've come to the right place. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jess here at Cinderella's Apron, and today I will be showing you 4 incredible foolproof side dishes that cook right in your slow cooker. That way we can free up some oven space and keep our side dishes warm all day. It's also a great way to bring a side dish to a Thanksgiving that you were invited to without having the host warm it up for you. So let's go get started. Okay, so we're going to start out with our slow cooker stuffing. This is my traditional stuffing recipe. I just figured out how to cook it in the crock pot. And it still gets those super crispy edges. Ugh. So anyway, I've got a half a cup of butter that I'm melting in my skillet, and I'm adding in 1 cup of onion finely diced and a half a cup of celery finely diced. And we just want to cook this for about 5 minutes or until the vegetables are tender. And then I'm just adding in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of fresh herbs. I like to use sage, rosemary, and thyme. And we just want to turn off the heat and let this cool slightly. So in a large bowl, I have 6 cups of dried bread cubes. And to that, I am adding in 2 1/4 cups of chicken stock, 1 egg, and then we're going to season that with salt and pepper and add in our butter and vegetable mixture. And then just give that a good mix until everything is nicely incorporated. So I lightly greased my crock pot just so that the stuffing doesn't stick. And we're just going to add that in a nice even layer. And then to really achieve those crispy edges, I cook it on high for 30 minutes. And then you turn it down to low and cook it for about 4 to 6 hours, stirring about every hour or so. And that way, the stuffing gets evenly cooked and crispy and not just like mushy in the center and crispy on the outside. It tastes just like it came out of the oven. And I am really picky about my stuffing. I don't like my stuffing to be very wet. So the fact that it works in the crock pot is just incredible. So now moving on to the sweet potato casserole. I'm melting a 1/4 cup of butter in a small saucepan and adding in a half a cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a pinch of nutmeg. And we just want to cook this for a couple of minutes or until the sugar is dissolved and the butter is all melted. Then we're just going to turn off the heat and add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And what makes these probably the best sweet potatoes I've ever had is that the raw potatoes cook in this mixture. So instead of boiling and mashing the potatoes and mixing this stuff in, oh my good gracious, they became candied. They're so good. So I've got about 2.5 pounds of sweet potatoes that I peeled and diced into 1/2-inch cubes. And we're just going to stir that all around. And again, my crock pot is greased because this is going to get sticky and we don't want everything to get all stuck. So we're just going to add in that mixture and we're going to cook it on low for 6 to 8 hours or on high for 4 to 5 hours. Again, stirring about every hour just so nothing gets stuck. Now, you can absolutely leave the potatoes cubed, but I preferred to mash them. So I'm just mashing those up. And then I'm going to add my marshmallows on top and just cover it and let those melt for a few minutes. You could also add some pecans on top. Really add your little flair here. Now, of course, because these aren't in the oven, the marshmallows don't really get browned. So if you have a little like brulee torch, you could absolutely do that. But honestly, they're so good. It doesn't matter if the marshmallows are browned or not. And because these are super piping hot, the marshmallows just kind of keep on melting into the potatoes. So feel free to add a few extra on top when serving. Now on to our super cheesy scalloped potatoes. So I have 2 pounds of gold potatoes that I peeled, and I'm just cutting into 1/8 inch thick slices. If you have a mandolin, definitely use it. Mine is packed away in storage, but if you can get them pretty close in size, then you can definitely cut it by hand. And you also can use russets, but I find that the golds hold up a little bit better in the slow cooker. So to make our cream sauce, I have 1.5 cups of heavy cream in my saucepan, and to that I am adding in 3 cloves of minced garlic, some salt and pepper, a pinch of nutmeg, and some fresh thyme. You could also use dried thyme if you don't have it. And we just want to whisk that together until it's nice and heated through, about 2 minutes. Once again, my crock pot is greased and I'm just adding in a layer of potatoes, and you just want to overlap them slightly. And then we're going to pour in about 1/3 to, or 1/4 to 1/3 of the sauce. I was able to get 4 layers out of the amount of potatoes that I had. And then we're just adding on some Gruyere cheese, more potatoes, more sauce, more Gruyere cheese. And I should also mention I seasoned my potatoes with salt while they were on the cutting board, but you can just do a little sprinkle of salt and even pepper as you're layering them in, just so that this isn't under-seasoned. The potatoes need a lot of flavor, you know. So then we're just going to cover this and cook on high heat for about 4 to 5 hours, or until the potatoes are tender. You can test that by sticking a fork or a knife in them, and if the potatoes fall right off, then you're good to go. So once that time's up, this is what we're looking like, getting nice and golden brown. We're going to add some Parmesan cheese on top and just cover it and let that cook about another 5 minutes or so. And then we want to let the potatoes rest for about 15 minutes before we start serving, so that the sauce gets really nice and thick. I also like to sprinkle a little bit more fresh thyme on top, but that is optional. Even a little nice freshly crushed black pepper. Oh my goodness, these hold up really, really well. You would think potatoes would just completely fall apart in the crock pot. They had that perfect bite to them. I mean, completely soft, don't get me wrong, but you could cut into the potato and pick it up, as you can see here, and it's still holding its shape. It tasted exactly like oven scalloped potatoes. Okay, so last but not least, we're making an oldie but a goodie, my slow cooker macaroni and cheese. Yes, I have filmed this before. I decided to do it again because it was like 2 years ago, and I cooked it in my Instapot slow cooker. So I wanted to show it in a regular slow cooker. We make this all the time, so just a reshare. So in my greased crock pot, I am combining 2.5 cups of milk, a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard, some garlic powder, paprika, salt and pepper, as well as 4 cups of shredded cheese. I like to do a mixture of 3 cups of cheddar and 1 cup of American, and then 1 pound of elbow pasta uncooked goes right in there. And you just want to pat it down and get as much of it covered as possible. and then you add on a 1/4 cup of cubed butter all over the top. So then you just want to cook it on low for 1 hour and check it. In my Instapot slow cooker, this cooks in like literally an hour and 15 minutes. The regular crock pot takes closer to 2 hours. So I would say just check it every like 15 minutes or so after that hour is up. It will still be a little soupy until you let it set, but once the pasta is cooked, turn it off. I'm jazzing it up a little bit with some toasted breadcrumbs. For the holidays, it was a last minute decision. I didn't film it, I'm so sorry. I just melted about 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter in a skillet with some, like about a cup of breadcrumbs, a little bit of garlic powder, salt, pepper, and parsley, and just toasted it, watching it, swirling it around until the breadcrumbs got nice and golden brown. This macaroni and cheese is magical. As I said, we honestly have this at least a couple times a month. It's just so quick and easy. And while for us macaroni and cheese isn't normally a traditional Thanksgiving side, I know a lot of people do it, so I wanted to reshare. I really hope you enjoyed coming along and making these 4 slow cooker side dishes with me. These are not only perfect for the holidays, but really any time of year. It's just so great to have something that you can set on your counter, set it and forget it, and save yourself some oven space. I really hope these help you out during the holiday months. I know I will be making probably all of them again throughout the next month or so. If you give any of the recipes a try or just want to say hi, definitely leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already for more easy, fun, family-friendly recipes. All of the recipes are printable on my website at cinderellasapron.com. I'll link it down below. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.